Alright, welcome back. So this is Ghosts and Demons. This is a really cool one. This is also extremely marathon unsafe. Casually beating this game, it literally took me over 20 hours, so this was a very difficult game to beat. But it's based off of... sorry, let me move this over. It's based off of a fan game. It's based off of a real game on the WonderSwan. And this is a fan game, so it's basically like a recreation, and it's very cool. So I am going to be playing on the easiest mode, which is one loop, but beating it on the easiest mode still took over 20 hours. I don't think it's going to go completely good, but basically there's like 2 loops in this game, and it's again really tough. Very, very good game. If you ever want to try it out, it's literally called Ghosts and Demons. You can just Google it. There's like an itch.io page for it. Massively recommended for sure. But basically, there's an in-game timer for this one, so I'm just going to hold down a couple of buttons on the map screen here, and then we'll get beginning, and it'll show in the bottom right corner. So we'll see what the in-game timer... So it should activate like this, and then starting from here... What's up, QC? You'll see. So yeah, there's the in-game timer in the bottom right if you're interested. So basically, right off the bat, of course, we failed for RNG. I really want to find a cross or like this disc weapon immediately, but of course there was nothing in that chest, so we just have to continue on and move forward with our lives. And yeah, there's a whole lot to say about this one. There's a lot of cool movement, and we're immediately dead. Well, at least we got another chance at opening that chest, so yeah, maybe we can do that. It's just an RNG reset, right? So yeah, we want the cross immediately. Of course, it's an axe! Like, why would it not be? But I was going to say, there's a lot of cool movement, and the game rewards execution and skill in a way that I very much like in a speedrun, because you can kind of see that Arthur right now is green. So before that tragedy happened, basically, we wanted to have gold armor. And in having gold armor, we have access to a couple of different like mobility options. And we can go like this. So for example, yes. The timer is in the lower left corner, or the lower right corner. So that's going to exist. But then yeah, it's because I muted desktop last time, so now you should be able to hear it.
Okay, good go.
Okay. So what was I gonna say? I'll show you afterwards. So this little sword thing here is like a gold armor exclusive. This is also gold armor exclusive, and that stab is also gold armor. So it's really useful to have the gold armor, but obviously in keeping the gold armor, you cannot take a hit, because if you take a hit, you revert back to kind of like that naked state. And I really like this game in that kind of way, because it literally rewards not being able to take damage. So this was a pretty okay boss fight. He decided not to do anything, despite being the boss of this level. Just jump around and be an idiot. So there are, I guess, like bonuses depending how fast you can beat this level. I don't think I got the bonus here because I died at the very beginning like a sucker. But if you can do it, I think under... It was like a minute and 40 or something. Like, you get like extra points. And the points matter in this game. So if you get a certain amount of points, you unlock magic later on. Which I never do. Like, you probably won't see magic. So the levels get progressively harder, and there's a lot of like randomness with the RNG when it comes to like some of the enemies and stuff like that, and like how they move. These enemies aren't that bad, but they get kind of weird, and I always destroy that plant. I never mean to. So we're really looking, again, for not an axe. That's the second axe that we saw. It's not the worst here, I would say. Nice. Of course, you decided to hit me there. So these guys are super annoying too, especially when you're like borderline naked. Okay, you know what? Fine, I'll take that. So for the magic to unlock, you need to get like 300,000 points. It's possible, but every single time that you continue, then you lose your points, like they get zeroed out. So I think you start off, I don't know how many lives you start off with, but it is possible. Like, I've gotten 300,000 before, I've just never found it in the chest. My PB in this game is 4 deaths. I don't want that. and 19 minutes, so it's not the best. Not the worst either. This guy was awkward. There is wind right now. Okay, thank you. So there is like a wind that's kind of like pushing me to the left, which is kind of annoying to also... No, the timer's in the bottom right corner. There's an in-game timer that tracks all the loads and stuff in this game, so I did not put the timer for that reason. But coming up here, there's going to be another chance that obviously like a weapon. So hopefully we can get not a lance, but if we still have to carry around the lance, it's not the worst thing right now. And there's going to be green armor because again, I took like a random hit down here, so we'll see. Yeah, this one's still kind of hard to talk and play. It's a very difficult game. So this guy is stupid. This guy is stupid. Okay. So hopefully this will be the cross that we were looking for, or at least the disc that I'm also very comfortable with in this game, but I bet you it's going to be an axe again. It's a torch. Like, we're just going to beat the entire game with a lance right now, it's okay. Nobody wants to do that ever, but... So yeah, you can skip this guy too. Oh, don't do it. Oh, hey, he dropped a cross. There you go. That was pretty lucky. So we're entering this other boss. He's like some evil castle or something, and he's got a bunch of moves. He can kind of summon boulders, he can summon enemies, and he can shoot like these fireball things, and he chases you as well. So the cross starts to make these bosses somewhat trivial. Not that trivial though, I was gonna say. But there's still kind of like a chaotic amount of stuff. No, the rock! There's still a chaotic amount of stuff. So the big difference between easy mode in this game and like normal mode and like the harder loops is if I died in the harder loops, there is no checkpoint. So there are checkpoints at like certain bosses and like halfway marks in the Squire mode. I have beaten normal, and there's kind of like a branching path that's coming up. And it's also worth noting that if you have the green armor, you can shoot 2 crosses at the same time. If you have the gray armor, you can shoot 1. And if you have the gold armor, the game kind of rewards you further by allowing you to shoot 3. So the boss fights really depend on gold armor and keeping the gold armor because you do like more DPS. And it's a lot better, obviously. But yeah, having green armor is still preferable to gray. Or having no armor at all, actually. Yeah, that was lucky. So here, there's kind of like a branching path, and you have a choice between a water level and a fire level. The fire boss is very difficult, and in my opinion, like one of the harder bosses in the entire game, especially on the other loops. So we picked the water level on this, which is still kind of a hard level, but it's definitely not as hard as the fire level or the fire boss. So there's 6 levels in this game. This is literally about halfway through. I really like the music in this level. I think it's also the best music in the game. That turtle sometimes just falls and hits you, and there's not really anything that you can do about it. And, oh man, that was lucky. Sometimes that turtle just kind of falls and hits you too. So that actually went okay. Yeah, literally willingly, but the fire level is really bad. But the cool thing about 2 loops in this game is it forces you to pick the other level, so you can't do like the water level twice. So if you kind of be a jerk and you pick like the easier level, you can't just like escape knowing that. So the big thing about the cross that makes it kind of like broken is you can kind of see there is this like seahorse. He shot out whatever, like some kind of projectile. Most projectiles, if the cross... wait, this guy sucks. Most projectiles... Okay. This guy is very random in how he decides to swim, or if he decides to stay still like that. But like most like ghosts and demon games, if you're committed in a double jump, it's really easy. See, he's being a bitch! Like, stop circling around! Okay, whatever. Anyway, he's extremely random, and like most ghosts and demons games or goblin games or whatever. Here, we'll do something too. If you're committed in a double jump, that's usually bad. There's a little Easter egg that they added Ariel here, so anybody that likes Ariel from The Little Mermaid, there you go. That's very much like a little Easter egg with this game. So we're gonna continue on, and again, hopefully find gold armor. It's gonna come up a little bit soon here. So we want to meet this wolf, kill him, and then we'll jump down here. So these hands are incredibly annoying. You can kind of move through this section. Kind of with like decent little rhythm there. So there's a chest below my feet right now, but I don't need it because I have the cross. And there's going to be a gold armor up here and a hidden chest. So we can go like this and grab it before the boss fight. So now we can shoot 3 crosses at the same time. And you'll see here, it trivializes this boss. There's still a little bit of annoyance when it comes to this boss. You stupid thing. Okay. Well, oh my god. Well, okay. Anyway, you can usually just spam the cross on that boss. Now we have to work for the victory. But the good thing is we still have the cross in the sense these projectiles that they shoot, it will get rid of those projectiles. But this is a very annoying attack. They can spawn literally beneath your feet. I'm dead. Okay. This boss is annoying, and then the next boss is annoying, so you get set back here to the spot that we just were. Nice random bat. But yeah, you really want the gold armor, if that wasn't obvious by now, for the boss fights. It makes all the boss fights a lot easier. Both because you have, you know, like the extra mobility options and the other attacks. Because there's like the sword attacks you can use in that boss fight too. It's not just the cross, but again, you know, like the extra DPS. So we'll try not to get hit again, like immediately after. And all the bosses are incredibly random. So that slide that he did last time, see, like you can go like that and you can bounce on him, for example. So I want to stay on the right side here because it forces both of these to spawn kind of in a pincer around me. So okay, so this bubble is going to produce like a baby one of these monsters, and even though the game is going to kind of like slow down cinematically, I can still get hit by those. We're still on baseball. Yeah, baseball ended soon, Roger Rabbit ended soon. I don't think this one's gonna take as long as I also said. Like, it has to go really bad, so we're probably gonna be pretty ahead of schedule. So, if it goes bad, this is the level that it's gonna go bad in. I personally find this level to be the hardest. This is easily, I think, in my opinion, the hardest level in the game, just with like all of everything that's kind of going on here. So we will jump here. Oops, I don't mean to. Oh, you bitch bird. Okay. Oh no! Excellent. Oh man. Glitchless first playthrough. But yeah, this level is all kinds of bad in my brain, in the sense like everything about it is very difficult, and the boss also I have a hard time with, especially if I don't have like the gold armor. But like there's kind of like a vertical section that you have to climb up twice. And here. Okay, that's better. So the first checkpoint's like past this guy, so at least we got that. What makes this level, sorry, nice, is really difficult is there's gonna be like these like little imps that spawn. You can see them there, and on top of that too, there's these ghosts that also spawn. So that guy right there. They're both very random in how they spawn. and they're very also stupid in terms of like how they move around and stuff. So the imps can like literally spawn and just like fly into you as you're trying to like scale this thing. And they love to spawn in walls and stuff like that. Excellent. I did not mean to jump down here, but I guess we're down here now. So getting up the tower itself is annoying with them around. And you can see like right here. So we're gonna hope that that's green armor because we were a fool. It's a shield. And we're gonna continue on this way, which is great. There you go, see. So there's a lot of continues in this game. It's a very generous game, but this is where the score gets wiped out. So it's impossible to gain as many points now to find like that magic thing. So magic just became a lie, but I rarely see it to begin with just because like this game is like brutally difficult, so. Oop, that platform wasn't there yet. Okay. So we're actually gonna go like this, maybe. No, we're not. I take that back. We're gonna climb up the tower like a sucker. There's like a little bit of a skip that you can do there if you spawn a chest. And I thought I felt brave, but it turns out I didn't. Why? Why? See? We should have done it, man. Like, leave me alone. Oh my god. Okay. Dude, okay. We're like literally right back where we started. But yeah, this section and the boss is, in my opinion, I wouldn't say like the hardest section, but it's just miserable if you make a mistake. Plus, it's so slow if you like go off cycle. And these guys like constantly spawning. It's just really annoying. Okay, we're gonna make a leap of faith there. So there's a very awkward treasure chest right here. That is our only hope for this boss. That's the only armor that you have before. And green armor Chimera is stupid. This boss kind of has like a 50-50 thing going on with him. So like that sound that he just made twice with the fireball, he's gonna charge me. See, that's the hardest attack I think to block. Oh god. Okay. Oh wow. We'll take it. So a lot of what makes him, I think, like audibly confusing to me is every single screech that he has, he can do like one of two things. So he's very visual and he's very auditory. But you can be in situations where you're like in a position and he tries to like shoot you and you're like literally right under him and there's nothing that you can do. I think he's honestly, again, like the hardest boss initially to kind of like, especially with like lower armor, to kind of do consistently because there's like almost coin flips in that fight. All the other bosses are kind of like reaction based and they have like certain tells and stuff, but that boss is a little bit tricky because he can literally do things and like he sounds the same, but he'll do, you know, like one of two things, right? Great. That's fantastic. That's how I wanted to start this level. So hopefully there's armor here. I guess that fish took away the armor that I did have. Of course there's not. So we're gonna try to do kind of like a little skip thing too. We'll see if there's armor in this chest, I guess, coming up here. No, it's a money bag. So basically, we're gonna wake up these two guys. I'll kill this ghost first. And then we're just gonna run. So... okay. So you can outrun these guys, but they can also jump up from the bottom like that, and then eventually there's going to be a checkpoint, so we're going to exploit the fact that even if we die right now, we don't have to fight those guys. But they're behind us. I don't know how that we lived that, and I'm really glad that I didn't grab the knife there. That guy was like literally right behind me. So if we're lucky, this is going to be green. It's not, but this is also going to be green. Not ideal to have green armor on this boss fight either, but whatever. Again, better than no armor. So this guy is also annoying. He can swoop down on you, or just summon all of those guys at the same time. But yeah, this is like the only ambiguous attack that he has. Is you want him to like not swoop after he's done teleporting. You can also take away your visibility. This is why the cross is useful, because you can just get rid of that attack. So right when he opens up, he can swoop, which is why I'm being a little bit careful there. Okay. Brother! Okay, that again went really okay. I'll take that. So in the second loops and stuff like that, there's like hidden treasures. So there's like a treasure right here, for example, and you can get like 1-ups.
I will not forsake my duties.
And entering the second loop, you actually only have like 1 life. So there's hidden lives that you can collect to kind of like increase your chances to finish, you know, like the ultimate loop. But I am nowhere near, you know what, we're just gonna take the death here. That was a very terrible start to this level. But I'm nowhere near, you know, like being able to beat, you know, like the ultimate challenge in this game, which is effectively like one lifing or 1 CCing the second loop, which is harder in every single way. So we just kind of like learn the first loop for now. But there's a lot of RNG and like stuff that you have to contend with in this game. And ironically, one of the worst things that can happen that hasn't happened yet is getting a drop by accident, like picking up an axe or something, or you didn't want to pick up the axe. Like that guy almost took away everything. You jerk ass. See? It's so good. But this section also is incredibly difficult too. So this is one of the last levels. It is the last level technically, and then sure, man. And then it's a boss fight right after. These gargoyles actually do have a tell. Like if you're walking by, their eyes turn red, so I shouldn't just be running under all 3. But they're random in terms of like all of them can pop out of the wall, none of them can pop out of the wall. So as long as their eyes don't turn red, then you're safe obviously from like running underneath them and stuff like that. So you really need to pay attention to like their eyes. Otherwise they pop out like that and they just hit you. So that's great, we always want that. That makes this section easier too. So this kind of like climb coming up here is also annoying. But luckily stuff didn't spawn on us, so we're gonna try to do this like the proper way. I don't want that ghost above my head, because he's gonna be down here. Okay. So that guy is incredibly annoying to deal with. That rock is random. That almost fell on my head. Nice off-screen jumping. Okay, we'll take that too. Coming up here, there's like this like snake Medusa boss. It's really beneficial to have, obviously, the gold armor for her. I technically don't need to open up either of those chests, and if you kind of hang around up there and you walk down here, sometimes there's like a backspawn of enemies. But she has 2 forms. She's got like the Medusa thing, and you really want to kind of like bait her into like swinging the sword, because then you can counter by doing kind of like this like upward sword attack. And you also want to kill her somewhat on kind of like the middle or the left side, because she'll turn into like this giant Hydra that has like 3 heads afterwards. And it's a lot easier, I think, killing her on the left side anyway, because you have a bit better field of view. So the fireballs that the Hydra spawns are very annoying because they're not safe from the cross.
2 of the heads have fireballs that you can't actually destroy. And then one of them, okay, that went very well again.
One of them does have a fireball that you can destroy. So until basically you destroy, you know, like 2 of the proper heads, you can't just spam the cross like that, because there are projectiles that it can shoot that it just like hits you in the head. So we're entering the final boss. There's one like last, you know, kind of like mega boss on the first loop, and that's this guy. And one of the best voice lines ever. Here we go. You'll literally see. It's one of the best ones that was ever recorded, ever. Demon. So yeah, this boss probably took me like 6 hours to beat originally. He's very difficult. If you have the gold armor, you can kind of like get rid of the first phase, and it's good. Oh, did someone redeem that? But yeah, the gold armor literally makes it way better. Yeah, it's really hard to talk during this particular boss too, because there's always like an imp that spawns and there's a lot going on. But this boss took forever to figure out. So it has 2 phases. And we're gonna see this move right here, which is like Arthur twerking. Oh god! But it does have a property that is good, because Arthur doing that has a very low hitbox, and you can dodge like some of those fireballs. So very important. But you don't really use it until now. So ooh, that was dangerous. I shouldn't have done that. So he's got all kinds of moves. Like he can, I'm surprised I didn't get hit there. He can summon, oh shit, I got hit. Yeah, that was my fault. He can summon those Reamers that we saw earlier. No dude, don't jump off his cloud. Wow, that went so good, dude. Like my PB is 19 minutes in this game. It is impossible sometimes. So doing this in 22 is really good. I will again take that. I expected this to go, you know, like 30 plus. Because it's just so easy to die. And dying itself is easy, but if you die, it's really easy to also just like die in a place that you get checkpointed backwards, right? So all of a sudden you lose like a minute just because of the one death. So technically time ends after the credits, which is just like this little section. As Arthur saves the world, he gets like this zombie corpse because we're not good enough. But it ends here anyway because this was like the first loop. But so we went ahead of schedule twice. I'm sorry, Ahmad. Yeah, it's definitely a fake print. And thank you everybody for the GGs. Timing technically ends after this little credit sequence that you see all the enemies and stuff like that. It includes, I guess, this as part of like the in-game time, which is why I didn't run the timer. But it also includes all the loads and stuff like that. But it also excludes like certain things, so the in-game timer is accurate, but the live split timer would be completely weird. Because I did try timing it in the past and it just like never lines up. But whatever time here you see, that's what it ended up being. Thanks Ahmad, thanks Caden, and everybody else. So yeah, 24:35. We apparently died 9 times. We used 1 continue. But you can switch me off. I can run Mega Man if it helps you out a little bit. Otherwise, maybe enjoy the hour-long break that you have now.